Hi, my beautiful world. Hi, subscribers. Hello. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. So, Mercury is retrograde on my 11th house, and I already made a video for you guys about an hour and a half long, and I lost it. So, I'm sort of in that melancholic state of mind where I lost 1.5 hours of pure footage where I explain the astrology and give you a detailed tarot reading for each of the signs of the zodiac. So moving on to the astrology, so this lunation, this eclipse, the solar eclipse, it's a total solar eclipse. It is happening at the critical degree of Cancer, which is 0 degrees of Cancer. So a 0 degree of any cardinal sign is known as a critical degree because it brings forth change and flux like nothing before. Now, cardinal signs are all about changing and shifting, but not necessarily about flexibility, adaptability. So there is that component because cardinality sees so much change that there is not a way to ground, not an easy way to ground that energy. Okay, and this is happening at 0 degrees, so it's the first decan of Cancer. Okay, it is ruled by Venus and Mars in Cancer triplicity. Okay, so we have the ruler of this lunation, who is the moon herself, because this is Cancer, cardinal water, ruled by moon. And where is she? She is in rulership. So with the suns, the masculine and the feminine are together in the sign, in the cardinal water sign of Cancer, which is fecundity, fertility, nourishment. Cancer rules the breast and the stomach. So it rules food. So it's a good time to be with the family, cook with the family, eat with the family. Food and sustenance and security is very important. And eclipses are very important transitional times when things illuminate and there are endings and new beginnings. So this eclipse is ruled by the moon, so it should be a free-flowing eclipse with a very beautiful feminine energy, right? But not so, because in astrology we understand that even if the moon is in rulership, but if she's conjunct or she's square or in opposition to the nodes, then she's afflicted. So she cannot, express herself the way she would like to. Her feminine charm, her feminine mystery, her lure, her beauty. So immediately we see that there is this affliction. Then we turn to understand more about the cardinal sign of Cancer. Cancer, the Sumerians believed, is the gateway from which souls incarnate in this Manvantara. So it is the mother, whereas Capricorn is the father. It is the womb energy, okay? It is nocturnal, it is feminine, right? And its exaltation ruler is Jupiter. So Jupiter is now in detriment in Capricorn, okay, and is retrograde. And not only is Jupiter retrograde, but he's applying to a square to the ruler of the netherworlds, Pluto, digging through our subconscious, expanding the terrain of our subconscious. Jupiter brings to light. He's a great teacher. Jupiter teaches. Pluto is the netherworld. It is what is hidden, what we don't acknowledge, what we fear, what is taboo. And Jupiter is expanding all these energies when he's squaring Pluto. Okay, and it is it's a very chaotic energy. Jupiter in detriment, for sure. We've seen that even with the coronavirus and how it's played out, and how Saturn in Aquarius literally restricted mass movements of huge groups of people. So I mean, the COVID thing has been like unlike anything we've seen before. Okay, so now we have to understand that we get to the triplicities. So Venus and Mars rules the water triplicity system, and Venus and Mars together rule the first decan of Cancer, okay? And now we have Venus who's retrograde in Gemini. So she's unable to express herself. She was combust. She just became visible on the 10th. And we have Mars in detriment in Pisces, ready to move into Aries to start a process, his process of retrogradation, which will last this whole year. So this is a very chaotic vibe to this moon, and moon, whenever there's Mars concerned, it's always a chaotic scenario, because the moon is cold and moist and Mars is excessively hot and excessively dry. So there is like no mid ground between these two, and literally moon is also our unconscious. So Mars ruled moons can literally cut and burn at our unconscious. So there's a possibility of that. Okay, and if you look at the element of fire, fire creates, but fire creates by separation. So when you have a Mars ruled lunation, it is, and interestingly we have Venus and Mars both ruling it. So we have this motif of Hieros Gamos playing out, or the sacred alchemical marriage taking place in the skies above as well as within us. So it's really a very psychic time. Now also, if you look at the relationship that Mars has with Cancer, Mars is in fall. Although Mars rules the triplicity, water triplicity, Mars is in fall in Cancer, because Mars rules Capricorn. I mean, he's exalted in Capricorn, 28th degree to be precise, but he's exalted in that sign of Saturn. The other two malefics, the greater and the lesser. Okay, and now interestingly, Mars is unable to harmonize with this eclipse because of his fall in Cancer, and this is happening in Cancer. So he's unable to support Luna and the Sun the way he would want it to. Okay, this eclipse happens for 3 3/4 hours. That means in the real world, the effects of this eclipse will last for 3 years and 9 months. So till March 2024. So pay note to which house it is affecting you, for I will be discussing in great detail. And you will see that in some way there will be endings with that house. And also a new cycle will start. Something that will culminate in 2024 March. So it's really beautiful that way. A lot of growth. This is happening in the 8th. Hey, this is Zod. No. This is happening in the 8th house of the moon. Yeah, it's my cat. He's playing. So this is happening in the 8th house of the moon. Hey, Zod, no. He's trying to get in my cupboard. Zod, no. He's crazy. So it's happening in the 8th house of the moon, which is the 8th Manzil of the moon, and it is called ANNATHRA. Okay, and it is from 0 to 12 degrees of Cancer, right? So we see that the astrology is intense. It is Martian, so there is this, a take action, do it, but there's always a fallback to this energy because it is not balanced, and eclipses are never balanced. So find the balance within, and let's straight jump to Aries. I will be reading with the Giant Rider in Red, and of course the Thoth Tarot, and I'll give you clarifiers. So Aries, this is your 4th house, family foundation. It is the IC, which supports your whole chart, sort of like the most beneath the earth, the most hidden part of your natal chart. And Spirit tells you tune in to your intuition. There could be someone who literally initiates you into mysteries. This is the High Priestess. She's Venus. She's Isis. She holds a pomegranate, which is a sign of fertility, ripeness, maturation, beauty. She also sits between two pillars, the dark and the light. one which is easily accessible, one which is occult and hidden. They are the Masonic pillars of Boaz and Jachin. So she's initiating you into some initiation. So Aries, I see an initiation of sorts for you, where your intuition leads you to a very beautiful place, and you awaken with that energy. And the clarifier says, Seven of Swords. There's a lot of futility, futile experiences you've had recently, Aries, where you feel like you've given and you've tried, but everything's been futile. It could be a friendship, it could be just, you know, people around you, and they just don't see what's going on, because you also have Chiron, so a lot of wounding can occur with you. And the clarifier says ancestors. So there's a lot of messages which I think the High Priestess is bringing from the ancestors, but I think you are trying to control it, if you ask me the truth. There's so much talk about Mars, and Mars will be retrograde in your sign this whole year. So there's going to be a lot of you trying to push forth, but the universe may push back. So I see that you may find that no matter what, no matter how hard you try, it's just futile, you know, it's just pointless. And that can be very painful. Again, we've got the High Priestess in your love department, but in reverse. So I think there is something that is coming for you, but you're just not tuning in. So everything feels futile for you. Whereas your ancestors are blessing you, or is something you need to let go from your ancestral guilt, or something that is, if it's not about love for some people, it's literally their own intuition, which is at clash, which is at odds. Okay, so the rational mind and the intuition could be at odds, or there's just something about family that is not making sense. So there's just some connection that is lost, or some new way of you know, understanding how you felt in your childhood, or what you felt in your childhood. Taurus, it's your third house. Third house is interesting because this is the house where the moon has planetary joy. So yes, the third house is known for destination, small destination, neighborhoods, local studying, local travel, and all of that. But sorry, if you understand the planetary joys, then moon having a joy here would mean that this is a very psychic and intuitive place also. So an eclipse, and your third house is Cancer, which is anyway very psychic, and an eclipse in that third house where moon finds joy, it is definitely a very special time for you, Taurus. So excuse me, tune in to that very special vibe from your mother, maybe a connection to your menstrual cycle for some of you, womb healing for some of you. It's going to be a very special time, because the third house, eclipse, new moon, and you know, it's where moon has planetary joy. So yes, it's precious. Three of Wands, you're waiting for your ships to literally come in. You've done the hard work, Taurus. You've put in that hard work. You've, you know, really you've stuck by what you believed in, and you've initiated certain actions. And now literally it is up to the universe to decide what's coming. But believe me, I think it's something precious, because literally I don't see a very turbulent time for you now, Taurus. I see a more balanced time for you. And here we have the Three of Pentacles, which is again the threes and the double three, Three of Pentacles and Three of Wands. So creativity, Trinity, financial abundance. So whatever this is going to give you financial abundance. Okay, and a lot of movement to just see life from a different angle. Okay, and the oracle goes, you may need to spend some time in solitude. Find yourself in solitude, because it's something that your soul is craving for. Maybe you have this constant banter of people around you and you don't have that time to just tune off. And in the love department, Taurus, the Empress in reverse. So this is interesting because it could mean conflict with your spouse, yes, or a new relationship where you thought that, you know, you could settle down with this person, and ultimately it feels like, no, this is not the person, and then it doesn't work out at all. So that's a huge possibility with this Taurus. So on the other side, you may not be ready for a relationship that's coming to you, or someone's proposing to you and you're not ready, and you're like, no, I don't want to start this, or I don't think I'm ready for this. It's very possible. Gemini, this is your second house of income, so, you know, be aware, because something could end. Like an avenue of income could end, or some way you wanted to make money and you thought was viable, you find out is not viable. And just resources, you know, and how you find meaning is the second house. And this is two again, Two of Swords. Gemini, Swords is your suit. So you need to make a decision, you need to make a choice. There are two paths in front of you and you do not have all the information. Rightly so, for your ruler is retrograde in your second house of income. So expect things to be problematic, chaotic with how you're going to make a living right now post-COVID. If some of you Geminis, it's going to be a time of restructuring, reanalyzing, re-clarifying with your soul. Okay, a Five of Swords, it's defeat. So you feel, again, we have swords. Fives are very eccentric. They are never, they have no rationale. They're very eccentric. So having 5 and 2, you know, interesting. 25 also could be a number that Spirit is telling you. It could be 7 also could be a signal. Something that makes you feel defeated about this decision. And believe me, if you do not take this decision the correct way, you could find defeat. In a sense, you could feel like everything that you worked for has slipped by. And yes, it's very eccentric, this energy, but I think it's time you get a serious grasp on what's going on and spend some time in solitude. If you're looking to just socialize, hang out with people, some Geminis are, I know, it may not be the best time, because it could confuse you, confuse your internal reserve and what you're manifesting. Again, we have the Empress in reverse. So this defeat and this Two of Swords, it could be a decision on a divorce or a certain complication like that, whereby, you know, you are not living with your spouse anymore and you are alone, or the person you love is gone, and you know, you're sort of pining for that person. And it's valid, but if you're thinking of taking some huge decisions, do not do that as yet. It's not going to be fruitful. Cancer, this is your first house, and first house is like the helm. So this is literally your body, your everything. And you know, Mercury has joy in the first house, and interestingly, the planet Mercury is in Cancer right now, retrograding. So a lot of disinformation, but Mercury retrograding in that first is interesting, because this is a planetary joy for Mercury, and may give you some ideas of change your perceptions on how you need to run your life and what you need to do, Cancer. So it could be a change in the way you look, because you know, an eclipse on the rising could also mean that you change the way you look. Beautiful message from Spirit. 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment, satisfaction, marriage, settling down, you know, creating abundance, working for that dream, and you know, manifesting that dream. I think for the next 3 years and 9 months, you're going to have your own house maybe. But right now things are a bit slow, the Hanged Man. So you know, have patience, because this is what Spirit is saying, that this is where you're headed. So have patience in the meanwhile. Do not flip out, do not get agitated or upset, because that's not going to solve anything. It's just going to take you down a negative path. Believe in magic. Initiate some magical moments in your life. Connect to fairies, connect to Gaia, connect to the earth, Cancer. It's beautiful. You've got such a precious message. And now in the love department, what do I see for you, Cancer? Aquarius, some Aquarius coming into your life. It is very, very possible, and healing you, giving you the necessary way for you to accept yourself. Aquarians can do that. They can accept anyone, so they give you that acceptance to just, you know, be yourself. That's what I love about Aquarius. So that's possible. And if it's not an Aquarius, it could mean healing. You know, ultimately healing in that sphere of life, in that, and Aquarius is your 8th house, so it's a bit complicated, you know, your 8th house. All right. We have now, we just did Cancer, right? So we have Leo, 12th house of dreams, incarceration, intoxication, addiction. So you may end an addiction, literally. You may end the way you end self-isolation. You may literally isolate because you want to end a period in your life that wasn't going great. Dreams from your ancestors, a lot of psychological symbols are going to come through. And this is 9 of Swords, a very painful cycle that is going to culminate for you, Leo, in the 12th house. And this could be agitating your dreams. You know, your sun is also in the 12th house, Mercury is in the 12th house. So, you know, you're really feeling this heavy 12th house activation. Time to recuperate, time to chill out, time to just allow the tears to roll, allow the tears to just, you know, fall and be done with, for a new time is coming. And with that, wow, this just fell out for you. This is the High Priestess. So this is beautiful. This is tuning in to your intuition. So no matter how bad you feel, there is this part of you, the High Priestess inside of you, that is telling you that fear not, do not worry, for this is a journey that is necessary. The dark night of the soul is valid and is as necessary as anything, okay, as happiness. So it's shadow work, and shadow integration is a must. So things are still veiled, but they will become more obvious once Mercury starts going direct. And this year with Mars retrogradation and all of this, expect things to be really slow. And, you know, expect things to be quiet, expect things to be just generally slow. So we have the High Priest. Interesting, this is the card of Taurus. This is the Hierophant card. So it could be that you're having problems with the Taurus, Leo, and literally you do not know what to do. You do not know the next stage or step. It's all right. Take a chill pill and relax for right now, okay? And Virgo, this is of course happening in your 11th house. So interesting. And Jupiter has joy in the 11th house, planetary joy. So, and Jupiter is in detriment right now. So 11th house, there could be endings in the way you interact with your online community, and there could be endings in groups, organizations that you have joined online, or, you know, in real life. And there's a 7 of Wands. So Virgo, there's a fight that's coming your way, and you need to be prepared. You need to be forewarned, because, you know, and you're winning, so it's all right, but you could be hyper-tensed about this. There's a certain something that's going on. It's not evident. It's behind the surface. It could also have to deal with your spouse. It could have to deal with a friend, and it's really antagonizing you and bothering you. Interference, 8 of Swords. This is a crazy card, actually. So now the 8 of Swords is essentially like when you want to do something, and when you want to go for something, but something is interfering in that, and stopping you from achieving something, okay, stopping you from going for something. And it can be painful because the swords, the 8 of swords, the 9 of swords, the 10 of swords are problematic cards, you know, they're difficult cards. And if you go right at 7 of swords, it's about strategy. So at 8, there's an interference pattern that has been created, because 7 is strategy and 6 is celebration. 6 is really laying out your cards and understanding your strategy that you will hone in on the 7th. And 8 is in interference. So there's some kind of interference with this issue that's popped up, and you do not see what's going on, because again, Mercury in that 11th house retrograde. 8 could very well have to do with friends and their interference, and Gaia nurturing. So nurture yourself like the earth nurtures you. You are valid. Support yourself, love yourself, no negative self-talk, Virgo. We need to get through this, and we will get through this, okay? In the love department, what can we expect? A fortunate love affair, yes, because Saturn left your 5th house of romance and went into your 6th and is now going to come back in July. And there could be a sort of a karmic relationship that is started at that point, and you feel like this is something you've been waiting for forever, but you have to nurture yourself, you have to love yourself before this culminates into that 2 of Cups. And the 2 of Cups is, by the way, the card for this decan is 2 of Cups. The decan 1 of Cancer is 2 of Cups, the tarot card. So Libra, did we do Virgo? Oh no, we just did not do the Virgo cards, did we? Yeah, I think we did. Now Libra, it's your 10th house. So the way 10th house is career, midheaven, how the world perceives you, your work, your legacy. So there could be a change in that, the way the world perceives you, and you may rethink a new career also, or something could end in your career. And post-COVID world is valid. So again, we've got the 9 of swords, and this time upright. So you are literally in pain, Libra. It could be career related, it could be relationship related, but you're literally in pain, and the Chiron in the 7th is not helping, is it? So you feel, and 9s are about completions if you ask me, but there's 9 of swords, and it means that there's a cycle that needs to be concluded very badly. And here we have the 6 of swords, which is science. Again, I said strategy, study. So again, we have swords, both Libra, your swords, a sword suit, and we've got swords again. For Gemini also for swords. So here you have understanding the science behind the upset, the sadness, the pain, the angst. And it could mean you find a facilitator, because the way you will be perceived, the legacy you want to leave, it could be tormenting you. Something could be tormenting you. With regards to this situation, ebb and flow. Do not hold judgment. Do not hold any hard and fast truths. Just flow, Libra. Okay, that is something that I will suggest for you. Now, relationship. For those of you that are single, a very fortunate relationship is coming your way. If you've just met someone, this person is meant for you, and you will hook up and you will be fine together, and it's gonna start a whole new cycle, okay? Now we have Scorpio, which is the 9th house. 9th house, eclipse, something with regards to your higher education, the way you think about your higher education could change. Travel plans could come to an end, or just see an end because of, you know, it's COVID and all, because 9th house is long distance travel. Ideologies could change. That's very interesting. 9th house is where the sun finds planetary joy. So and it's the house of God. So an opposite is the 3rd house, which is the house of the goddess, and moon has planetary joy. So it's interesting, Sagittarius, Scorpio in your 9th house. Your ruler is going to retrograde this whole year, so it's going to be quite interesting. And so Queen of Swords, Scorpio, it could be a mother or a mother-in-law who is in conflict, a legal battle. For some of you, this could be someone who helps you publish, but not easily. This is a very difficult energy. This person is not going to be easy or walk in the park. It's going to be a very complicated and difficult energy to assimilate, to work with, to work for, if that be the case, Libra, because your 10th house. So it could be like literally a boss that's doing this. And the clarifier for that goes, wow, it's art, which is temperance. So patience and alchemy, and waiting and allowing the right moment to just come and allow the pain to subside. This is the card of Sagittarius, so it's your second house of income. So there could be some kind of income that comes in when you feel like really dejected and upset, and there could suddenly be some money that comes into your life. Okay, Oracle, ground yourself, Scorpio. That is the message for you this Cancer eclipse. Ground yourself. Okay, in the love department, what we have faith that a very precious relationship is coming your way. If you're already in a relationship and you're having difficulties, Spirit is asking you to have faith. Things are going to get better. Okay, believe me on that. Now we are moving on with Sagittarius. Again, a problematic house, 8th house of death, taxes, death, taxes, rebirth, all things hidden, the occult and all of that. Okay, Sag. So it's gonna be maybe change the way you look at sexuality. Certain taboo things may come to light. You may express them. You may get a reading because it's a very deep time. 8th house eclipse. It's a very deep time of contemplation. Too many options. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Too many ideas. Not enough grounding. Not enough exploration. So opportunities get wasted. Make sure, Sagittarius, you do not waste any opportunity in the future. That could be problematic. Now you have the Queen of Swords. So this is a very iffy energy. Queen of Swords could be about, yes, it could be clarity in publishing and all of that. It could be a problematic mother-in-law or a mother, or just somebody or a boss who's really fights a lot, okay, and creates problems. So that's something. Yes, Queen of Swords can mean healthy understanding and exploration, but it could be problematic. That's what Spirit is telling me. But there is a new beginning, this eclipse, that will be offered to you, that will take shape for you for the next 3 years and 9 months. And it's in your inheritance area, so you could get some sort of inheritance. You could literally, you know, get rid of debt, or you could incur debt as well. Everything depends on your personal natal chart, but it's an interesting time nevertheless. 8th house activation with an eclipse, a total eclipse, right? Capricorn, Saturn ruled cardinal. Capricorn, all cardinal signs will feel it. Saturn is retrograding, and for Capricorn, this is definitely about relationships, partnerships, and all kinds of interpersonal relationships, if you ask me. And it is, yes, a partnership could end, a marriage could end, but something new is definitely on the horizon. You know that, Capricorn. And you're excited. I feel that. 5, 6, 7 of swords. It means theft. It means someone is stealing from you. Someone's maligning you, gossiping, leaving your team with stuff that you need. So be careful of this energy. It is not easy. It is the 8th house. Things hidden, things that are taboo. and you know, house of death. So just be careful of what someone is stealing from you and why do they have access to that, and why are they stealing that. But it could be information as well. Something is being stolen from you, and this is a death card in reverse. So this means you're not allowing some endings to take place, and you've given preference to people who do not really love you or support you, or you support such people who are actually stealing from you, and you really actually need to let them go. But you don't understand that, and that is maybe creating a lot of other kinds of tensions at home. Maybe your wife sees something, your mother sees something, but you refuse to see it. So it's a purification process that you have to experience. 8th house is always, you know, rebirth is a purification process, if you ask me. So it's going to be powerful for you, Capricorn, in terms of it's your 7th house. And someone stealing from you, it is literally somebody stealing your lover. It could be somebody stealing, you know, coming into your marriage and you're not allowing it to end. I see a lot of pain in this process, Capricorn. And with this in the love department, I see a new beginning. A new beginning, okay? Believe me. Now we have Aquarius, which is your 6th house. 6th house is where Mars is planetary joy. It's a house of evil spirits, and no, 12th house of evil spirits is a house of bad fortune. So ill health and all of that, hidden enemies, and you know, problems and diseases, and you know, problems with the diet. Aquarius, make sure you eat correctly, because any kind of incorrect food can literally, you know, give you problems. Your ruler Saturn is also retrograding, so there's not much you can expect from him right now, although he's in rulership and he's strong. Aquarius, there is a blessing from the universe, from the goddess, Ace of Cups, emotional renewal of sorts. Maybe you hear something from family, something from an enemy who's become a friend, some resolution, something beautiful. Pregnancy for some of you Aquarian people, a new conception of an idea. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. It does mean that you're not allowing a certain situation to change. We have an ace and we have 2s. So 1, 2. So you know what is not changing, what is not viable. You could also be juggling too much, okay, or you could be just, you know, draining yourself a lot, and you know, running yourself too thin. That's very viable with this energy. Retreat in your sanctuary, in your cave, Aquarius. You're very good at that. You understand Saturn and his solitary and his love for solitary spaces. You completely understand that. So Aquarius, take some time to be in that cave, in that sacred space of yours. Okay, now we have Pisces, which is your 5th house. I made a really big video, by the way, and then, you know, it did not save or some crap. And 5th house is where Venus has planetary joy, so it's a house of romance, creativity, children, you know, acquiring beautiful things, looking nice, having an amorous encounter and all of that. So Pisces, 5th house, High Priestess in reverse. Whenever cards appear in reverse, it means that the shadow has popped up for us to find integration, work through and resolve. So this is not listening to your intuition, not walking through the pillars of Boaz and Jachin, not eating the pomegranate, which symbolizes fertility, understanding, growth. So there is an energy blockage with you, Pisces, which I feel you need to address, because you know, it should not be reversed, that card. It is, and we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is failure. So there's a sort of financial issue that you're going through, Pisces, and you feel like everything has failed. No matter what you've tried to do, what you've tried to establish or work with has failed. And it's all right to be hard on yourself, but now post COVID, maybe it is not the best time to be so hard on yourself. It's a wake up call. So awaken to the messages that is coming from spirit, because you need a lot of integration. Maybe find a facilitator if you can to work through all these energies. In the love department, the High Priest Taurus. So it's your third house. So it could be someone who your brother introduces, or someone you meet in a local class and you start a new relationship. Someone who's very steady, but someone who's also very stubborn. Alright, so that was the tarot reading, and I wish I had not lost the last video because it was so long and about an hour and a half, and it was very detailed, but now I'm sort of, I could not continue this on for an hour and a half. So this is of course much smaller, but before I go, I do not want to miss this meditation that I want to do with you. You do not want to miss this, because this is the card 2 of Cups, which is the tarot card of this decan of Cancer, tropical Cancer. Okay, so this is relationship on its own, on an equal footing, giving, receiving, healing. The angel, the Regulus, the star. This is of course Leo, the astrological sign of Leo, and Regulus, the star, if you really look at it, which sort of gives you the caduceus of Mercury. So it's, you can also look at it as alchemy, like sulfur, salt, and mercury, and you create alchemy. But this is a really powerful symbol for all of us, for all of humanity, to meditate upon, to integrate, to understand on this eclipse, when everything is all about the Martian separation, the cutting and burning of Mars. The 8th Manzil, where we are having this lunation, is known as ANNATHRA. Okay, and the images of this Manzil, when the moon passes through this, you make images, and the images of this Manzil have to do with love, liaisoning, protection. So it's a very pleasant energetic vibe to this Manzil of the moon. Okay, and there's nothing like an eclipse to bring light to things that have been hidden. Something hidden comes to light, something that was eclipsed is understood, and just so much of unprocessed data coming out to cry for integration, and that is our job, really. So I'm gonna end with hey, my cat's trying to go in my cupboard, which they own, and they start furiously playing at the beginning of this video, so I had to throw a book on the side so they would go anyway. So let's do a mantra before I head out. If you have the time, put timestamps, please. Now, what mantra should we do? We can do the Vajra Salpa mantra, but we've already done that. We've done I don't know which one to do. It's always like this, that when I come to the mantra side, I'm like, okay, which one? Medicine, Buddha. But I think hey, no. My cat's gonna go in again. I think I did medicine Buddha last time, so I'm not sure, but Yeah, let's do the Medicine Buddha mantra, I think. Next time, I guess, I'm gonna write down the mantra. So, keep your spine erect. Light a candle, if you have a blue candle. If you have lapis lazuli, hold lapis lazuli in your hand. And take a deep breath. And release that breath. Like, you know, when you take a deep breath, make sure that you take the breath from the navel. So no, hey, no, sorry. Take a deep breath, keep your spine erect, and visualize a blue ray emanating from the heavens. A blue ray, the color of lapis lazuli. And this is a ray, cool, healing ray of Medicine Buddha, also known as Sangye Menla. So when you call upon Sangye Menla is a bodhisattva who became a Buddha but refused to go to the land of the Buddha because he wanted to help humanity and ease their suffering. So Medicine Buddha took 12 vows. And in that 12 vows, Medicine Buddha committed to helping the ones, the underdogs that have help from no one. So Medicine Buddha can be called when your child is sick, when your animal is sick. Medicine Buddha Reiki can be given to them when anyone is sick. So you visualize this blue ray coming into you through your Sahasrara. You feel the blue light penetrating your Sahasrara, settling at your Ajna, coming down, settling at your Vishuddha chakra. The chakras are the color of the rainbow, Vibgyor, so violet, indigo, okay, blue, green, heart chakra, yellow, solar plexus, orange, sacral chakra, red, Muladhara chakra. So feel the lapis lazuli, the blue light of Medicine Buddha penetrate your Sahasrara and activating your Sahasrara while you take a deep breath from your navel and release. Te ate om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze. Radhya samongate soha. Feel that lapis lazuli light enter your third eye, your pineal gland, which is ruled by Pisces, okay? And feel the blue light vibrating in your third eye chakra. Te ate om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze. Radhya samongate soha. Feel the lapis lazuli, the light, the cool blue lapis lazuli light in your throat chakra. This is your Vishuddha chakra, ruled by Taurus, Venus. Okay, and Venus is a ruler by triplicity. Te ate om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze. Radhya Samogate Soha. Bring that lapis lazuli light into your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is green and it is ruled by Leo. Bring the light of Sangemenla in your heart. Hold your heart chakra and sing. Te te om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze radha samogate soha. Bring that lapis lazuli light into your solar plexus. Hold the cool blue ray in your solar plexus and feel the healing love of Sangemenla, or Medicine Buddha. Just hearing his name brings an end to eternal suffering. Dea te om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze radha samogate soha. Bring the lapis lazuli light, the blue light of Medicine Buddha, in your sacral chakra, which is directly beneath your navel. It is that part which is above your private part. Its color is orange. Bring the lapis lazuli light of Sangemenla to your sacral chakra. Feel the cool blue healing ray. Te te om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze radha samogate soha. Shift the lapis lazuli light to your root chakra, which is at the bottom of your spine, and feel the cool healing ray and sing. Te te om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze radha samogate soha. Now feel the electric blue light of Medicine Buddha up and down, all over your body, all around you, and sit in silence and feel the healing vibe of Sangemenla, or Medicine Buddha, in your heart. I end this transmission with a huge thank you to all listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and let me know what you think.